So, you want to be a fragrance collector? Well, this is my new series called So You Want to Be a Fragrance Collector. This series, I'm going to start doing some basics. I'm going to talk about different subjects, and this is going to be mainly geared at people who are already new in it, are new to it, they're not sure what to search for, they've already been in it for a year or two and they're still wanting to learn more. And if you're a veteran, you've been in it for 4 or more years, feel free to watch it. But this series, I'm going to warn you, if you've been into the hobby and you've got 100 bottles minimum, you'll probably be sort of ignoring this because it is common knowledge for if you've been out for a while. But this is mainly geared at people new to the whole fragrance collection scene, and just to help you out on what stuff you should watch out for, tips, advice, stuff like that. This particular video is to protect yourself against being bullshitted by sales assistants. Now you might think, hey, they can't bullshit me. Let's be realistic. Everything I mention in this video will probably have happened to either you or someone you know. So let's break it down and see what's going on here. Exaggerations. This is probably one of the most common things you'll run across when you're buying a fragrance in a department store. Exaggerations, this is a sort of bland term for it. It can be many, many different things. But the most common you've probably heard are the following. This one has special pheromones in it designed to attract women. This is an eau de parfum. It's much higher concentration. This will match much longer than the original. And of course, if you asked about the original first, they tell you that lasted super long as well. Another one you'll hear is, now these actually go off, they can go out of date, so you'll need to replace your bottle if that happens. Yep, that's another one as well. Another one people don't push. If you're not in the know, you'll just accept, oh shit, I don't want to be smelling out of date again. Think about the industry of this. This is the beauty, fashion, good smelling industry. This is for the whole want to look, smell and feel good. And if you go, you're going away by wearing, your designer clothes that you just bought in the same store, if it's a department store, you want to wear your new Armani shirt or your Ralph Lauren jeans and be smelling with a cologne that's out of date. So if a sales assistant says you need to replace it, hell, you better do that. Except that's not true. In fact, many of these are very thin lines. You could say they're lying, but then if you question them all, they'll always find a way to dig themselves out of that hole. If you question them on that it goes out of date, they'll always, most of the time, give it the, oh, but it depends how you store them if they're not stored properly. They won't tell you that first unless you push. I've noticed that quite a common thing. Also about how long a fragrance lasts. I was once, and I quote, told by a Chanel woman, an actual Chanel boutique. It wasn't Boots or something, where they sell Chanel. It's just a standard sales assistant. This was a Chanel boutique with an official, Chanel saleswoman there, representative. And she told me, when I was buying my first Chanel, this is for Chanel Allure Rome Sport Eau Extreme, quote, it lasts for 96 hours. And she says that was from Chanel. So Chanel, quote, their fragrances last is 96 hours. How they work that out, it's probably on card. I've had fragrances last ages on card. Some of them have lasted over a week on the card. Because let's face it, cards don't sweat. It's like car mileage. Oh, you'll get this many miles to the gallon with this car. Yeah, if you're going at a certain speed under perfect conditions. So there's nothing you can do about it. If you say you're not getting it, they'll just say, hey, conditions vary. Same thing with fragrance. They'll say skin chemistry. They won't say it when they're selling it to you though. They'll say it after you go back to them to question them on it. They'll always have a trump card, a Donald Trump card. We'll build a wall. But they'll be building a wall of bullshit to protect themselves. That happens a lot, and so many people fall for it. I mean, think about it. You're going in, you're buying a fragrance, you walk into the store, it's your first time. Oh, and this has pheromones in it. It lasts really long, and 96 hours, but it goes off, so you'll need to buy a new bottle soon. You'll be like, oh yeah, oh totally. You're all hyped up, and you buy it, and the sales assistant, I mean, that smells fantastic, doesn't it? This is one you need to watch out for. You might think, hey, that's not too bad. This is a very common practice, and it rakes in a lot of cash from poor suckers who don't know any better. Let's move on to the next one. Kissing up. Now, this isn't just limited to fragrance. This happens in every sales thing. All these, in fact, happen to sales in general. But we're just going to focus on perfume as an example for this particular video. Kissing up is one thing that just really bothers me because I don't like people kissing my ass. That's just me. I like honesty. I don't like fake, kissing up stuff. So kissing up is something they'll do. I mean, it's like sales. They try and pretend they're your friend. You feel better about them. You know, you don't want to let this nice salesperson down. You make a puppy, stuff like that. So, imagine it now. Scenario for you. You walk into a store. You're looking at the fragrances. And suddenly a salesman, "Hi there, can I help you?" All nice, you know, and they're normally all dolled up. You notice there's not really that many ugly sales assistants. They're always really gorgeous. That's on purpose. They're meant to look sexy. They're meant to get a guy's attention. Oh, the pretty woman said buy it, or buy it. Now you might think, oh, that's not me. A lot of guys think with their dicks. And sales help that way. Why is sex such a good business to be in? Because men think with their dick. Admit it or not. Quite a few men do. So, pretty woman gets her attention. Oh, this is great. Oh, that smells great on you. It'll get you attention. And you'll probably end up buying it. Because your dick is saying, attractive female. And your brain is saying, ah. That's what happens, believe it or not. So, not to everyone, but we'll get some poor sorry suckers in there. So, you'll be looking at fragrances. And you'll say, oh, what's this? Oh, yeah, that one's absolutely fantastic. It's absolutely one of my absolute favourites. I think this is just great, you know. I love smelling this on guys. Other people have come in and I've said to them that how much I love it. It's one of my favourites as well. You know, I'm thinking I'll buy this for insert relative or boyfriend or whoever. You'll never say boyfriend though, because I want you to hope they're single. So, yeah, that's another tactic. But, buttering up is very, very common. You know, I think that smells great on you. Oh, definitely. I think that's great as well, you know. And it depends as well on your clothes as well. If you're talking about, you know, if your job as well, sometimes sales assistants will talk to you, what do you do for a living? You know, I work in a call centre, I work in a shop or something. Yeah, that'd be great. You know, if for an office environment, this is perfect for work and stuff, and they'll just butter the hell up to make you feel great. Because when you feel great, you're more willing to part with the cash because you feel more of a connection with the person, you know? That's one thing people think, oh, it's not a big deal. It's, you know, psychological tricks here. You don't think about them. You know, they just happen. And then when you think about them, you sit and go, wait a second, that makes connections. This is a very common thing. A lot of people think, oh, yeah, and get totally into it. And think, oh, best pal's this person, they said this, oh, I better not let them down, buy it. That's very common. Now, this whole sort of manipulating someone into make a sale using personality, this particular case is quite friendly. They're being nice, buttering up. However, there is another one that people do, and it is quite common. Let's move on to it. Bullying. Yeah, bullying happens everywhere. The workplace, the schoolyard, hell, even in some homes. But believe it or not, it can and will actually happen in a department store at the fragrance counter. Now, this one isn't a guaranteed thing. It all comes down to the person. The person could be an asshole. And if they're an asshole and they're smart, they'll use that to their advantage. There's a lot of people I know who are very kind of anxious about going out to the shops. They don't like it. They don't like going in. They don't like the attention and stuff. They'll just not like it. Hell, you know, a lot of people are like that. It's just natural. Some people just don't like it at all. You know, some people prefer to shop online just for the convenience and the fact that there's no pressure on them. But this pressure is similar to bidding. You know, online bidding, no one's watching you. Unlike if you're sitting there and everyone's saying, oh, he's bust. Oh, everyone's scared of that. So, occasionally that'll happen. It's happened to me as well. I haven't given in, but it has happened. In this particular, I'm going to tell you my story. The story was I was buying some Spice Bomb. Now, I only buy 50ml bottles, purely for one reason. I'm going to be buying other bottles. Now, it's better value to get the larger amount. Say a bottle's £30 for 50ml, but it's £42 for 100ml, or 45. You're saving money by getting the bigger amount. However, because I want to try different fragrances and own different ones, it's cheaper for me to buy 50ml, small amounts of each one. Then the money I saved, instead of buying the higher amount, I can use to put towards another fragrance. So this is the same thing with Spice Bomb. Now, they had a deal on. If I paid, I think it was £30 more, I would have got 150ml. And I said no, but that wasn't a good enough answer. So you'd be silly not to go for that. Now, how's that for customer service? That's awful charming, isn't it? And I was like, no, I don't want to. I'll just go for the 50ml now. Eventually she backed down. But some people would be all, oh yeah, well, I guess I will take it. That's quite, believe it or not, some people wouldn't be able to handle it. Yeah, I guess I might take it. Just because the pressure's on, they'll give. You know, if paying 30 quid more will get them out of that situation, they'll do it. And how will they justify it? Well, how do you not feel bad about it? Oh, well, I did get a good deal. See, that good deal, therefore, oh, it doesn't matter that was bullied. I still got a good deal, you know? Now, focusing on the positive, you're hiding it. I'm not saying focus on the negative. Don't focus on it. If that's happened to you, hell, you'll still get your fragrance. It's a good deal. No complaints. But the point is, you didn't get it because you chose it. You got it because someone pressured you and bullied you into doing it by being an asshole, basically. Another thing as well is if you're trying to choose something, sales assistants sort of almost like to demand what you should wear. I mean, I went in and I was looking at Givenchy. And the Givenchy boutique basically told me I cannot buy, and I quote, obviously if I press and say, no, I'm buying it now, she'd have sold it, it's a sale. But I quote, she says, no, you can't buy that. That's not for you. That's an old man's one. What? I can't buy that. You can't buy that. That's not for you. I'm a customer. I can buy whatever I want. I could walk in there, spend half an hour looking at fragrances, and walk out with a 12 quid bottle of shower gel if I wanted to. I'm the customer. That is my right. Flex your consumer rights. You have more rights than you might think. That's one thing they always like to do is pressure. Well, actually, what about this one? You'll be looking at, say, Hugo Boss. And all, but well, why do you try this one? This is a new release, and it'll be a new Hugo Boss. It'll be a completely new one, and that's to promote something. Many times in stores are told, "Here's the new one. Promote this. Try and get as many sales of this as you can." You know, and that's how it is, though. But you should really, well, this is the new one. I mean, that's been out for a while. This is the brand new one, though. You know, I've noticed that with Sauvage as well, but Dior. They don't really call it Sauvage. They call it the Johnny Depp one. This is the new Johnny Depp scent. I've noticed that quite common. They don't refer to it as Sauvage. Maybe they're trying to distance themselves, but the new Johnny Depp scent. I've also had other sales assistants be just totally aggressive. Well, I think that would not be good. I personally really do not like that one. You know, I don't like smelling at in a man. They're basically saying to you, yeah, fuck you, buy this one. So a lot of people out of embarrassment and stuff will, you know, chip into it. Another one I've noticed is that it's quite common, and you're allowed to do this. You're allowed to go into a store, smell a fragrance, and fuck off. Yeah, you're allowed to go into a store, smell as many fragrances as you want, providing their testers available, and leave. Now, that might piss a lot of sales assistants off. There's quite a few times, especially with Ultramal, where I've walked in and says, look, can I smell Ultramal or smell this? And I've went, yeah, sure, and I've rummaged about, spent half an hour getting the bottle, sprayed it on me. I've went, oh, that's really nice. Thanks for that, and walked out, and they've given me this. That's not the sales assistant getting annoyed. Do you really think someone who works in retail, you need to be thick-skinned to work in retail, do you think that sales assistant's just getting really annoyed because you asked to smell something? Sure, it might be an inconvenience, but do you really think it's going to piss them off? No. Most of the time, that's on purpose. And quite a lot of the time, that'll work. Or they'll just stare at you. Actually, yeah, I think I will buy it. Now, that sounds crazy, but guys, fall for that shit. Especially if you're someone who's not got a lot of self-confidence, or you're someone that's not really a big fan of the whole, like I said, going into stores and the pressure. That really actually does work on some people. It's crazy, but it happens. They're just being dicks. Bullying can happen as sales assistants. Myself, I'd done a video on it before when I was asking if I had a particular fragrance. Instead of helping me, she basically tried every option she could to try and humiliate me. I'll look it up for you in the computer. That wasn't letting me help you out by looking it up for you. It was to look how right I am so I can prove I'm right. You need to watch out for that. Do not stand for that shit. You're spending your money. You have a right to basically just... You could stand in that store and look at the boxes for half an hour. You could stand in there all day. There's nothing they can say about it. The only thing they could pull is, oh, you're loitering. But you could stand there and literally look at the fragrances all day, and there's nothing they could do about it. That's how it is. You do not have to spend. Testers are there for a reason. Don't let yourself be bullied. So, we're going to come to a conclusion here, wrap this video up, and hopefully you'll find this helpful and not get scammed and messed around by sales assistants spending your hard-earned money. So what tactics have we covered today? We've covered buttering up, we've covered exaggerating, we've covered bullying. Another thing I like to do is push brands. Now, it sounds really classy. You walk to the YSL, you walk to Chanel, you walk to, Guerlain. They're all classy. They're all really, oh, this is Guerlain's this, and this is Guerlain, and YSL's that. Just remember, all these companies are produced by like 6 companies. YSL, L'Oreal. Hugo Boss, Procter & Gamble. Dolce & Gabbana, Procter & Gamble. Yeah, why do you go and look at Procter & Gamble's website? Tell me if it looks anywhere near as classy as YSL's. It doesn't, does it? I think they make detergent last time I checked, something like that. They don't make, I think it's cleaning products. They're not the classiest brand out there. So, just think, next time you see all that fancy image and it's all classy and sexy and sophisticated, it's one big massive lab, one very unattractive lab company that's producing all these. And they'll happily bullshit, you know. Companies will always lie to you. They want a sale. That's all they want. Another thing I notice is there's free giveaways. Hey, buy this fragrance. Buy this today and you get this free gift. Do you know that free gift can and many times will be swapped for another fragrance? Now, you're not going to get another free bottle, but there's a high chance that you'll get a travel spree. In fact, it's worked for me many times. All you need to say is the following: I already have that gift. Why does that work? It's worked for me every time. Why? Because let's break it down. I already have that gift means I've already purchased from here before, means I've already spent cash, and I'm high chance that I'm a loyal customer and I'm big into scents. So why would they be happy to give you a travel spree? They give you a 20ml travel spree. Wow, that's amazing, you buy it. They give you another travel spree. That's excellent, you buy it. They realise there's a sale. And most of these gifts really aren't that good. They're pretty crap. But it depends. For example, I got a Diesel Only the Brave belt. Looked really nice, but it's just a cheap polyester belt. It's nothing fancy. It won't last too long. It was free. However, with my 24 Gold, I got a duffel bag, and it wasn't a crappy bag. It was a pretty nice, beefy looking bag. It's nowhere going to be as neat as like like a head sports bag or anything, but it seemed pretty decent for a free gift. So don't be sort of pulled in by the free gifts either. Don't think, oh, I'll buy that because I'm getting a free gift. Take the free gift out of the equation. Think to yourself, what do I want? Don't let the company dictate to you what you want. That is a very common thing. People walk into a store intended to get something for themselves and end up buying something for someone else because someone else tells them to. You have a customer and you're entitled to what you want. Don't let yourself be bullied or lied to get what the company or whatever a sales assistant wants you to buy. You buy what you want to buy. Don't let anything else sway it. It's your hard-earned money. You worked hard to get it. And that's why I hope this video's helped people. There's quite a lot of people, like I've mentioned, that have fallen for these things. These things are really common. In fact, if I had a hidden camera, I might even go in and try and see if I can witness some of these events firsthand. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new to fragrance collecting and such, I hope you found it sort of useful. If you have any questions or if there's any situations that I maybe not have covered in this video and you want to know about them, do not hesitate to comment or send me a YouTube message if you want it to be private. If you don't have a Google Plus account and you still want to get in contact with me, there is a Facebook banner. There's a Facebook link, on my channel banner. You can contact me through that. Any questions you have, do not hesitate to contact me at any time with any issue, and I will happily get back to you as soon as possible. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of So You Want to Be a Fragrance Collector, and as always, keep on smelling fly. Your way, not the sales assistant's way.